So I'd actually wind back to my grandfather very, very quickly. So he was a Frenchman. He collaborated with the Germans in World War II, and he had to escape France and he could never go back. Yeah. So he was broken by his experiences in the war, and he came to live in Australia, married and had children, 3 children, one of whom was my mother, who was the youngest of the 3. I think the way the war broke him was profound. He was a violent man, a thuggish man, but it was a dark situation, and it darkened my mother's outlook. So she left, she got pregnant when she was 15 years old, and she became addicted to heroin. She had been darkened in her upbringing, and she learned a lot of flawed lessons about love, you know, that it's transactional, that she's unworthy of it, et cetera, et cetera. And then I'm born. So I grew up in the care of an addict, and she's in a way a lovely woman. There's nothing, you know, it's not her fault that she's broken. But my mission in my life is to arrest that, make sure that that cycle stops, and that I pass not a whiff of it to my children, even positive ramifications of it. Like if I'm overly diligent or overly careful, I don't want that to necessarily impact the development of my children, even though it seems to be positive, because it's grounded in that trauma. I didn't think that happiness was available to me. And if it were, I thought that there was something specially ugly and unworthy about me. That meant, you know, other people get it, but never me. And then fast forward, I just organically at forks in the road made choices about my life, tried to learn who I was. And I only just recently realized you don't have to learn who you are, you can choose. Yeah. And those choices are what defines you. But yeah, I got 6-stage 4 cancer. It was a head and neck cancer. 6 months to live was my prognosis, but I had a 40 to 60% chance that chemoradiation would fix me. The treatment was horrible. I had a tube into my stomach to feed, which I was dependent on. It was surgically put into my tummy. I couldn't take anything by mouth for about 6 months. And even so, I'd feed myself into the tummy with this formula, and sometimes I'd vomit it up with like pain and blood. Wow. So, you know, 4 years, when I beat it, it's like, yay, I beat it. But everything that I did became about the cancer, or even the positive stuff, you know. So we took a holiday, not because it's wonderful to go out and take a holiday, but I beat cancer, so I should go out and take a holiday, even though I, you know, I'm ambivalent about how I feel, and my heart's a bit broken and I should do this and I should do that. And so cancer, I gave this tremendously inflated footprint in my life. It got to the point where a year before the big walk, I realized I was just waiting to die. So the treatments, the chemoradiation had wrecked my thyroid. That regulates your metabolism. I'd gained about 55 kilograms. So before Christmas of 2020, I weighed over 140 kilos. And I was walking home from school one day, and I just remembered that walk that I took as a child. And I hadn't thought about it in years, but I had this ripple, that feeling on the hairs on the back of your neck. And it's like God speaking to you, you know what I mean? I don't have a particular faith or anything, but it's a moment where you recognize a resonant truth.
Let's reveal Simon before we get on to the next bit.
Right. Well, when I got back from the walk, I shaved off the big bushy beard and cut the hair. So there he is. But the beard's just coming back. So I've been back for a couple of months. The big walk took me 84 days. And during the walk, I mean, I continued losing weight. I got this big, long, bushy beard. Yeah. And yeah, when I got home, people wanted to see what the person underneath looked like. So there's a fun. I never thought that I would ever be shaving my face to an audience.